Și apropo de engleză, în engleză o să vorbesc imediat, pentru că primul nostru vorbitor în această limbă ne va prezenta ceea ce urmează, ceea ce ne-a pregătit. Și anume, vă pot spune despre el, haideți să facem switch-ul în engleză chiar now. And I can tell you that he's based in Germany, originally from Argentina, and trains executives from Fortune 500 companies. Now, there's something. Teaches strategic marketing, branding, corporate strategy, international business, and at top-notch universities across the globe. We are very happy to have him today with us through a video call. He's, as I told you, a global executive trainer, professor, and consultant, Nicolás Kfuri. Good morning, Nicolás.
Hi, good morning.
We are very happy to have you today with us.
Thanks for having me here today. Happy to share some ideas with you. So, shall I get started right away?
Yes, please.
Very good. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys so we can follow a few slides that I put together for you. And so there we go. Okay. So the title of the presentation, it's a short presentation, but at least I hope I can share with you a couple of interesting ideas on what's going on out there, the new trends that are coming, even before the pandemic took place. So the pandemic has accelerated our transition towards digital. Some studies from IBM in the US, for example, estimate that we've been moving 5 years forward, fast forward 5 years from analog to digital. But there are some trends also that were taking place even before the pandemic took actually place or hit us. So the intention is to go through this brief presentation covering these topics. So the big picture first, and as I told you, some of the trends were already there even before the pandemic. So this is coming from a Polish philosopher and sociologist, Zygmunt Bauman, and he said, we live in a modernity that is liquid. He called it liquid modernity. And what does it mean, that liquid modernity? He said, well, there is a kind of a nomadism, meaning consumers or people, actually, we apply to consumers because we're marketing, branding people. But he talked about people in general are changing their patterns all the time. And these patterns are beyond just consumption patterns. He says that people are changing in a constant flow, places, jobs, poses, political views, even their sexual orientation, and today, on top of that, even their DNA, because we got technology that it's out there helping people to change DNA of species. Ethical concerns about that, that's a different story, but that's happening out there. So that presents a big challenge for us when trying to address the needs of consumers that are changing their identities on constant basis. Now, one thing that has not changed and will not change is the way we create experiences as human beings. We got senses, then comes the perception based on those senses, and then based on those perceptions, you create an experience in your mind, okay? That has not changed, and that's constrained by time and space, okay? Now, space has become not that relevant, and the pandemic has proved that it doesn't matter where we are, we can be connected and working and living our life regardless, actually, the space that we occupy. The meaning of space, it's being changed. Also, that has an implication on the stores, and I'm going to be talking briefly about that in a moment. But the most critical variable is time. We need to make sure that we can help organizations make faster decisions than ever before, because consumers are changing faster than ever before. So I call this model the SPE model. Again, senses, perception, and that creates, at the end, the experience. Now, which are the trends that we see out there? I put together a couple of them. I'm sure you might be familiarized with some of them. Hopefully, some of the others are going to be a bit more novel to you as well. So the first one is misinformation. And consumers are trying to find ways to actually get well educated and informed. They don't want to base their decisions on fake news. So brands that can help provide information to their customers to make the transition from deciding to buy to actually buying the product or service are going to be the ones that are going to be favored. And there are a couple of examples of that. Alaskan Airlines are changing their pricing. They do price discrimination based on the height of the waves in Hawaii, for example. So if you're flying to Hawaii, the airline is going to send you a price discount if the waves are getting truly cool. If you're a surfer, then you might be interested in that. There is a couple of other examples, like a Swiss-based company selling condoms that, depending on the infection disease of transmitted sexually infection diseases, it's varying the price of the condoms, and you get also, via your mobile phone, an update on the price of the particular product they are selling. So help your consumers make informed decisions based on data. Add data to your offerings. That's basically it. The second one, generosity. We see a lot of people out there and companies that have been doing truly good in terms of building on this situation with the pandemic and trying to give something to the community. The next generation of consumers, and we're not talking about millennials, not even centennials, but the alpha generation, the little kids that were born in 2010 or later, in a couple of years' time, they're going to be the consumption force in society. They are moving fully from just being, for example, environmentally friendly or being committed with the environment towards being actually engaged. So they want to see companies that are doing something for the community, helping. An example, the guy, Harry Styles, and he was using this, you may like it or not, but he had a particular style, by the way, cardigan from J.W. Edwards. And what these people did was, after it got very popular on TikTok, they just released the pattern so people could download it and do it yourself at home. It got 7.5 million followers, the hashtag Harry Styles cardigan on TikTok. One more. Community purpose and social good. This is linked to the previous one. So people got enough time now in the pandemics to rethink their values and try to give something back. From mass clapping to support health workers, to companies that have been doing any type of activities to support, or people that were helping retirees to get their groceries home because they were not able to leave their places. Well, this is happening out there. And a great example that I found actually is this one from Rafa Nadal, the tennis player. After winning his 13th Roland Garros, he posted this picture on his Instagram account. And it's basically, if you can read that, it's simply saying, champions, it's not about raising trophies, it's about supporting or raising communities. So communities, purpose, and social good. The next generation of consumers want to hear these type of things, want to see these type of actions coming from companies. One more on this, the circular economy. This is not new, but it's truly, truly taking off now, particularly given the conditions of the pandemic. One example is the sneakers manufacturer from Switzerland called On. You can pay a subscription, 30 euros per month, and you can change your sneakers as many times as you want. So you send back the old sneakers, you get new sneakers, and the new sneakers are based on recycled material. So the circular economy that it's been out there for a while, now definitely taking an important place in the economy. Inclusivity. Companies that have initiatives that favor gender equality or LGBT type of communities are always welcome, especially for the younger generations. So that was a pre-pandemic trend, but we can expect this trend to actually keep out there for a while, or at least for good. Mental well-being. Well, the pandemic has actually put the communities, the society in levels of stress, at least in Europe, that were unseen since the end of the Second World War. So companies that can offer products and services that actually reduce the level of anxiety, stress, and even depression that we saw higher than ever before, particularly in the younger populations, are going to be definitely favored. So keep that one in mind. If your company can help reducing anxiety, then you should do that. Introspection, mentor to protege. Well, thanks to the pandemic, a lot of people spend a lot of time at home and they have to do activities that they traditionally did out of the house. Now they have to do it in the house. So people spend a lot of time doing training, sometimes paying for it, sometimes for free, doing gym, at home following instructors or influencers. So there is a lot of time to do this. If you got some content that you can share, make sure that you can do that today. People got accustomed to do things at home, and some of these trends are gonna stay there. Not that you're not gonna visit the gym ever again, you're gonna do that again, for sure, as soon as you can. For example, in Germany, we cannot do it now. But surely some of these trainings or courses that you've been taking from home, you're gonna keep doing that. Direct to consumer, that was a pre-pandemic trend. It took off dramatically through the pandemic times. So this is basically the manufacturer selling directly to the end consumer without a middleman in between. So if you're a manufacturer of something, take advantage of that opportunity. Buy now, pay later. That's also a link to the reduction of anxiety and stress in the consumer. Clama, for example, could be one of the companies that are building nicely on this. So no stress for the consumer. You just get the product. If you like it, you test it, you feel comfortable with it. Eventually, you pay for it. One more on this. Buy online, pick up on the store. And this is redefining what space means for stores. A lot of people are buying online and they just visit the store as a window. They don't buy things there. They just go to pick up things or eventually to see things and try things. But actually they buy online. So feel ready to start rethinking what it means space, which is the next one, in your stores. Okay, with a couple of examples there. Walmart and Vilnius, the airport in Lithuania, they redesigned their parking lots. They were empty because of the pandemic and no one was able to go to these type of activities or shopping centers or whatever. And they actually turned those spaces into movie theaters, open air movie theaters. So there is a constant need to innovate on what a space means for us today, particularly because we're moving online more than ever before. Well, there are some studies out there that still think that we're going to be doing most of our purchase still offline for the years to come, but the trend is clear. We're moving into the online world. Virtual avatars, and we see these. They're going to be there not just to inform us, the kind of Alexa type of ones, but also to entertain us and accompany us. We got in China already and in Japan virtual avatars that are actually delivering the news. The news channels are using them. So this goes beyond the Alexa type of assistants or virtual assistants. It's much more than that. And the last one that I want to keep in mind, before I show you two examples of companies that are doing a great job on these things, it's virtual status. As we used to have social status or status symbols in the analog world, well, now we see companies starting to generate this type of status symbols on the online world. Why is that? Well, very simple, because our life is moving into the online world and people need social status symbols. I'm not saying that that's good or bad for society. That's a different story. We're not going to be discussing that here. But if people are in need of these type of things, you should be ready to offer a way to access also online status symbols for the population. Now, well, in a nutshell, I put all the trends there together, and I particularly like this slide because, as you can see, they are like interconnected. It's like a network of trends. It's not one trend isolated from the other. It's actually one trend together with the other, reinforcing each other. So it's like a spider net of different trends that are actually taking place out there today. And I told you two examples, brief examples with videos. The first one, Instacart. This is just to simplify the customer journey, okay? It's tech-enabled simplicity, companies using technology. Instacart valuation last year was $5 billion. Today, $17.7 billion after the pandemic or during the pandemic. What they do, it's pretty simple. You order your groceries online with your app, and they deliver within the hour. So 1 hour delayed and you got your groceries home. Okay, so tech-enabled simplicity, simplifying the customer journey. And one that I like a lot is this one. PlayStation doing things together with Burger King. What they've been doing, it's again, simplify the customer journey and at the same time, use technology to offer a new channel to distribute products. So could you imagine buying your burger while playing your video games online? Well, welcome to today's world. Look at this.
Nothing beats a good game online. The first clan of gamers, specially trained to infiltrate the most popular online video games and take your Burger King delivery order.
Derecha, derecha. ¿Pero dónde ha salido? Buena, tío. ¿Al final qué quieres? ¿Whopper o Whopper con queso? Whopper con queso.
Just go to burgerclan.es and add your PlayStation Network username to your Burger King delivery account. Then, become friends with our gamers on your PlayStation, join their party chats, and play in their sessions. And when hunger strikes, strike back.
Okay, so in essence, what we are seeing out there is a process of blurring the lines between the analog and the digital world. These two worlds are coming together, and as you can see there, a typical analog company distributing their products through the digital channels, but completely new and unthought digital channels for them in the past. Okay, almost concluding with this. Sorry for that. Let's go back to that one there. What we want you to do at the end of the day, it's what we've been trying to do when building brands all the time. Create a mythology, a collective mythology. Put together people in a community of full strangers that think they share the same values, lifestyles, aspirations, desires, and so on. That's what a brand is always trying to do. Create identity between the customers and the company itself. And don't forget the lesson learned that's coming from a long and old book, a child's book actually, The Little Prince. And in The Little Prince, there is an amazing lesson learned that I always use for my branding trainings. And that's the following. When the little prince met the fox in that planet, the fox told him, "Tame me, domesticate me." And the little prince didn't understand at the beginning. So the fox had to explain. He said, "Listen, there are thousands or millions of foxes like me in this planet. But if you domesticate me, if you tame me, if we bond one another, I'm going to be important for you and you're going to be important for me. So I'm not going to be one more among all the other foxes that are in this planet." So exactly that's what you have to do with your customers. Domesticate your customers, bond with your customers. So for your customers, you become important and you're not just one more company offering product and services out there. Well, with this, I hope I meet the 15 minutes time that I got. So I was rushing a little bit, but hopefully it's been interesting for you. And please get connected on social media. I use social media to keep sharing these ideas. I'll be happy to see you in those channels as well. So thanks a lot for having me here.
We are very happy also for accepting our invitations, Nicolás, and thank you very much for today's presence and presentation. We take advantage of the technology so that we can have you here today with us.